Hello, everyone. Welcome to This Day. It is Friday, September 15th. I'm Michael Taylor. Glad to be here as always. We've got a great show for you today. Let's get right to the guests who are going to be on here because it's going to be a quick one, too. Hoag Orthopedic, we have Dr. Mark Hambley. Going to be talking about non-invasive treatments for your back. Avoid those surgeries. There's some options out there for us. We're going to talk more about that. Sports Corner with Cole Young. Great week of sports. Lots of football, I'm sure. And OrCam, Cameron Hessling. You have trouble reading these days? If I take these off, I'm a goner. You might as well hand me a white cane. But for some people, glasses just don't work anymore. So we've got some other devices that you can get out there and help you be able to read and still kind of see all the text and things you get today. So that's great technology when we talk about a little later in the program. Hey, let's take a look and stay informed. We have the new rates on EV charging. It's been updated, the new prices, and those are effective immediately. So make sure that you're not surprised when you go in there and plug in here around the village. The rates have gone up a little bit. Let's take a look outside. We've got some wonderful weather out there, nice and cool. I'm telling you, I love it. Fall is in the air. Fall starts next week on the 20th, but we're getting an early preview right now. We're going to be, the clouds are going to break up a little bit. We're just going to have these AM clouds, and then we're going to get up to 77, 76 on Saturday, and then, really just nice temperatures for the rest of the week. I love it. I'm happy about it. We're going to keep it going with sunrise and sunset. Let's take a look outside. Oh, look at that hummingbird over there. Is that a hummingbird? That might not be a hummingbird. I'm not an expert. All right, but Mark Rabinowitz is. He's been like our photo guy for the whole week. We're going to have to put him on the payroll. Sunrise was 6:34, and sunset is 6:57. He took that one over in Aliso Creek, and that's a great shot. Okay, well, got a real great treat for you. No meetings to worry about. So when we come back, Hoag Orthopedic with Dr. Mark Hambley. Stay with us.
Living and learning in Laguna Woods Village is a unique experience. For over 45 years, the Emeritus Institute has provided tuition-free college classes within your community. Join us to experience expert faculty, quality academics, and to make friends through the Emeritus Institute. New classes start every semester, and you can join nearly any time. Visit us anytime at saddleback.edu/emeritus. Learn, live, and thrive with the Emeritus Institute.
A will is not enough to avoid probate. However, if you have a will, a trust, a complete estate plan, then you will avoid probate. We encourage you to come meet with us. It's complimentary. We'll review the estate plan, make sure that it's current, covers all of your assets, and you're actually protected.
I'd like to personally thank LS Carlson Law for all my family's estate planning needs. I highly recommend them to everyone.
Hi, I'm Linda Honey. I'd be happy to help you and your family. Please call us today.
Your body is made for work, play, and adventure. All the things that make life amazing. But when pain gets in the way, turn to Hoag Orthopedic Institute to get you back to doing the things you love. At Hoag Orthopedic Institute, we're experts at getting you out of pain and back to golf, running, or yoga. Whatever makes you, you.
From Hoag Orthopedic Institute, we want to welcome Dr. Mark Hambley to the program. Your orthopedic specialty in that, but what brought you to Hoag, and what's kind of your background, and what got you here?
Well, I'm a retired orthopedic spine surgeon. I grew up in Sacramento. I went to USC locally undergrad, went to med school at Boston University.
Okay.
I went and did my orthopedic residency back in New Jersey, where I developed an interest in spine. I moved back to the West Coast, and in Long Beach did a spine fellowship with the Wiltse Spine Fellowship. Mm-hmm. And I, during that period of time, was exposed to a very well-known orthopedist who had a strong interest in non-surgical spine care, so I learned a lot about it then. I moved up to Sacramento, where for 32 years I was a spine surgeon. I founded a group with 3 other guys known as Northern California Spine and Rehab. I did over 5,000 back surgeries up there, and then in 2021 I stopped operating because I started to have a number of my own orthopedic challenges. So at that point, to get out of the Sacramento heat, my wife and I moved down to Orange County.
There you go. And so then you came to Hogue from there, and you know, a lot of people have back pain. I play basketball, I do a lot of walking, and I just kind of, is it just something that just happens to everybody? Is that, are there exercises that we do or don't do, or things we could do to trigger it?
Well, the number one complaint to primary care physicians is low back pain. 85% of adults are going to have a significant episode of low back pain in their life, but fortunately, within 6 weeks, that'll improve regardless of what treatment you get, chiropractic, physical therapy, time, doesn't matter, you'll get better. Only a very small fragment of a number of people get it, but the people that have pain that lasts longer than 12 weeks, that's what's known as chronic low back pain. And so those are the people, the program that we're here talking about today, focus on.
And when we go to somebody, it's not something to really mess around with. Why is it important to go to an expert when we're talking about back pain and those kind of issues?
Well, I think initially, like I said, most people will get better. You don't need an expert, but if you've been symptomatic for more than 12 weeks, at that point you really need to see somebody, because at that point it's what we call chronic, and you want to nip it in the bud at that point. And so it's important to get some diagnostic studies and get pointed in the correct direction.
Okay. Now, Hogue Orthopedic Institute has a new program called Back to You. What's that all about?
Well, that program is a multidisciplinary program. I knew that when I retired that I wanted to be involved in non-surgical spine care. Having this big surgical experience and this interest in non-surgical care, I thought I had something to offer a program like that. So when we moved down here, you know, the Hogue Orthopedic is the #1 orthopedic hospital in Orange County. It's ranked number 18 by U.S. News and World Report. And so I met with Kim Mikes, the CEO of Hogue, to see if they had any interest in a program. And to my surprise, they were actually starting one at that point. So they hired me as a consultant to help start that program. This program is different than a lot of other programs out there, and I think it would be good for the community here.
Now we have an image of the kind of the back and the muscular structure of the spine. I want you to take a look at there. And when we look at this, what are we seeing here? What are some of the things that are there behind the pain and the therapies that go into this?
Right. So most people that have low back pain, the difference between a group of people that have low back pain and don't have low back pain is if you measure their strength, actually physically measure it, their belly muscles, their flexors will all be the same. But if you measure their extensor muscles, which are these muscles in the picture here that you see running up and down the spine, it'll be weak in the low back pain patients.
Okay.
And so you really want to focus your treatment on that. Everybody tells me, or patients tell me, I've been doing crunches and doing, that's not it. And even core strengthening isn't it. Core strengthening is a tube of muscles around you. It's great for your balance, but it doesn't help your back.
That's what we're told. It's your core. You get your core going, your back's going to be better, right?
Right. Well, it's very important for your balance. And it's great to exercise your core, but as people age, you see them start to lean forward. More often than not, it's because these muscles are getting weak, and they're the muscles that pull you back, just like the cable on a mast of a ship. So we want to focus on those muscles, and that's what this program does.
Okay. And we have another slide of somebody on one of the machines where this is how you kind of measure back strength and where they're at in there.
Right.
And so I've seen these at the gym before where people are kind of going, doing their exercise, going dips and up and down.
Right.
So tell us a little bit of that slide that we have in here and how that works.
Well, that's what's known as a Roman chair. The one thing about our program is when you start the program, we actually physically measure your strength using tensometers, and then we measure your endurance. This is an example of measuring your endurance. If you can hold this, see how long you can hold that position for. Not uncommonly, people that start the program can't do it for more than 17 or 20 seconds.
Oh, really?
And if you get good at it, you can do it for a couple of minutes. So we're trying to show people you're getting stronger. And if you get stronger, your function will improve. And if your function improves, typically your pain will improve. But we focus on function, not pain, because we can measure it. We're into measurements here. We want to show you you're doing more and that you are stronger.
So you do these assessments. How do you determine if somebody's a candidate for the Back to You program or not?
Well, most people are a candidate for the program. I think the people that aren't a candidate are people that have had multiply operated backs and it may not have been successful. Chronic pain patients, meaning that have had failed treatments, they're really not a great candidate, but everybody else is. You don't even have to have low back pain to actually benefit from this.
Okay. Just the basic strengthening of that.
Strengthening your extensor muscles doesn't hurt anyone.
Okay. So I think you've been a surgeon for a number of years, and now you've kind of transitioned over to the other side. Is surgery, when is surgery the option, when is it not? I would imagine you have a really good perspective on both those things.
I think I do. Most people don't need surgery. Most people don't. 85% of people that have low back pain and go to their doctor, they're never given an accurate diagnosis because it's so hard to diagnose low back pain. Just the phrase low back pain is just a description of where you hurt, right? It's not a disease.
Yeah, my foot hurts.
Yeah, right. Well, there's a lot of bones in your foot, but any one of them could cause you pain. So if 5% of people have a definitive diagnosis, scoliosis, a fracture, cancer, infection.
Okay.
Surgery helps those patients dramatically. People with neurologic problems. I had a disc herniation. I had surgery. 2 weeks later, I was working again. It can be tremendous. But if you don't have a well-defined problem, trying to either surgically treat it or treat it with injections, whatever, but you don't know what you're treating, it's not likely going to succeed.
Okay. Now, how long is the program when somebody gets into the Back to You?
The program can be anywhere between 6 and 12 weeks long.
Okay.
It's typically 1 hour twice a week.
Okay. Okay. And if somebody's interested in the program, where can they go?
Right now we have 3 locations. There's 2 pro sport locations, one in Costa Mesa, one in Orange, in Orange, and the other one, in Laguna Hills. That's the location closest to this facility. And then sports conditioning and rehab in Orange with Jim Herkimer is the other location.
What is it like for you to see the results when people come in and they're having these challenges? And take me through that process of when you say, you're good to go.
Well, it's rewarding in that a lot of people that have chronic low back pain develop what's known as kinesiophobia, which is a fear of moving because they think they're going to hurt themselves.
Right.
So basically, a number of the things we do in this program is actually show you that you can do things without hurting yourself. That's important. That's improving your function. And some of it actually involves lifting a box full of weight the way you're not supposed to, straight legs, putting it up on a shelf to show you so you won't break. It's okay. So getting people over that fear, that's really important, and I think they benefit from it greatly.
Terrific. Well, thank you, Dr. Mark Hamley from Hoag Orthopedic Institute. Thank you for coming in, and great information. Really appreciate it. Now we got Sports Corner with Cole. Don't hurt your back when you're playing sports. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to this week's episode of Sports Corner. I'm Cole Young. We have a lot to discuss, so I'll get right to it. To start, the biggest news story out of the sports world this week is unfortunately bad news. New York Jets quarterback Aaron Rodgers is officially out for the remainder of the 2023 NFL season after tearing his Achilles tendon on Monday night against the Buffalo Bills. The Jets traded Green Bay for the 4-time NFL MVP earlier this season, and the world was waiting with excitement to see Rodgers flourish with a new team full of young talent. The Jets built the entire team around Rodgers, bringing in his former offensive coordinator Nathaniel Hackett and some of his Packers teammates like Alan Lazard and Randall Cobb, plus free agents like Dalvin Cook and CJ Uzoma. Just 4 plays into the Jets' season opener, Rodgers went down awkwardly during a sack by Bills defensive end Leonard Floyd, and it looked like a routine play, but Rodgers sat on the turf after the play before being carted to the locker room for x-rays. The Jets were able to pull off the win in Buffalo on a walk-off punt return touchdown, but their future still hangs in the question. Leading the offense for the Jets for the remainder of the season will most likely be the team's previous starter, Zach Wilson. Other than the eventful Monday night game, the first weekend of the NFL season was pretty wild. The Buccaneers started off the day Sunday by upsetting the Minnesota Vikings. Joe Burrow played statistically the worst game of his career in the Bengals' loss to the Browns. The Chargers and Dolphins had a high-scoring battle, and the Cowboys dropped a 40-point shutout on the road against the Giants on Sunday night. Thanks to the Bengals, I lost just 1 game in my picks last week, meaning I started the season with a 3-1 record. Not too bad. Let's see if I can get my first 4-0 record of this season. For this week, I'm going with the Lions over the Seahawks, the Cowboys to keep it rolling with a win against the Jets, the Broncos to earn their first win against the Commanders, and the Bills to redeem themselves at home hosting the Raiders. Also last weekend, the US Open of tennis came to a conclusion. On the men's side, Novak Djokovic handled the weight of history to defeat Daniil Medvedev on Sunday in the 2023 US Open men's singles final. With the victory, the 36-year-old won his 24th Grand Slam singles title, tying Margaret Court's record and bolstering his case to be considered the greatest tennis player of all time. On the women's side, the 19-year-old Coco Gauff from Atlanta, Georgia, won her first Grand Slam title after taking the US Open women's singles title in 3 sets against Aryna Sabalenka from Belarus. Gauff is the third American teenager in history to win the title, behind Serena Williams and Tracy Austin, and she's the first American to win the tournament since Madison Keys in 2017, who was defeated this year in the semifinals by Sabalenka. Gauff and the United States have plenty reason to celebrate, and Gauff now jumps up the rankings to the number 3 player in the world. The MLB postseason officially begins on October 3rd, but here's how the postseason bracket is shaping up. The Dodgers have all but wrapped up the number 2 seed and the first round bye, meaning the path to the conference championship will run through them. Like I said, a lot can happen in the next few weeks, but a Dodgers-Braves semifinal series would be must-see TV. As always, I thank you all for tuning in to this week's episode of Sports Corner. Enjoy all the sports this weekend has to offer, as well as the emergence of fall weather. I'm Cole Young. I'll see you next time.
Orcam Read empowers people with low vision.
Sometimes reading can be a challenge. With Orcam Read, just point and click. Read at work. Read a recipe. Read a magazine. Read anything you want. Orcam Read.
Orcam is a company that helps people with some vision loss or reading difficulties be able to have all that world open up to them again. And we want to welcome Cameron Hessling to the program from Orcam. They're going to talk to us a little bit about what this is all about and how it works. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you so much for having me and having Orcam back.
Absolutely.
Happy to be here.
There are all sorts of different devices you guys have for low vision and people with reading difficulties. What are some of the differences between them all? Like, what should people be looking for when you do a consultation with them?
Yeah, great question. So Orcam has assistive technology, or is the manufacturer of assistive technology devices. So all of our devices are text-to-speech devices. So simply what they're going to do is take a picture of any relatively normal text that's in front of you and read it back through a speaker that's in the back. We have wearable devices, we have handheld devices, and we have our newest Read 3 device.
Okay.
So I'll turn on this wearable one right here. It's really small, it's about 3 inches long. Charged. It's very chatty.
It's charged.
Is good. It's charged. It'll let you know it's very chatty, which is helpful because our devices.
Right off the bat, I was going to say that's helpful because if you're having a vision problem, you can't look at your device and see how the charge is going.
Exactly. So it'll always be very chatty with you. All of our devices are designed to meet you where you're at.
Okay.
So for this device, it will just place on any glasses with a magnetic mount right here. So it can place on, these are prop glasses. You can utilize, prescription glasses if you have them, sunglasses, whatever it might be for you. And this is a really good hands-free option. Again, it just depends what's best for the end user. I can hold up any relatively normal text in front of me. Ooh, I'm shaky.
You can set it down.
So here, I'll set it down right here. See, it's good because there are multiple options, and I can just take a picture. Excuse me, of the text that's in front of me. And it will start reading in my ear. I can stop it by placing my hand out in front of me or just tapping the side of the device again.
Oh, wow.
So I can tap the side of the device or I can point to the text that I want it to read. So if there was a sign on the wall, I could point up at the sign on the wall. It can pick up as far away as billboards. I could be at a grocery store and point to those aisle signs above.
Okay, this is amazing.
Yeah, so it really does
I feel like I'm on an
pick
episode
up.
of Star Trek.
Yeah, it really
The
is
translator,
amazing.
because that's literally, it translates people's worlds back to, so they have access to the written world that's out there for them.
Yes,
That
correct.
is really amazing. It's incredible.
Yeah.
So, it's still talking to us. So
Yeah.
now what's
It's
it saying?
just going to sleep,
It's
so
gonna
it doesn't keep chatting to us.
Saying good night. We'll miss you.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
how do you assess someone who comes in with maybe macular degeneration or some other challenge? How do you assess what's best for them?
Yeah, great question. So it all starts with a demonstration of the device. So for example, I'll be at the Health and Wellness Expo on October 7th with a booth with all of the devices. Someone can walk up to me, they can hold it in their hand, and they can utilize it there. They can press the buttons, try it on, see which device is best for them there. We also can do at-home demonstrations as well. So I can give them my card at that expo, they can give me a call, and if they're comfortable, we can do at-home demonstrations, which I've actually done here at Laguna Woods Village. So I would come in, they would try on the devices, and they would use them in their home. I love to ask people what their why is. So why do you want the device? Why? What situations have you come across on a day-to-day basis where you think, okay, I can't do this independently, I need a little handheld companion or a wearable companion. Sometimes that's reading mail, reading their bills, reading the newspaper, reading their favorite book. It can be independently grocery shopping. It can be a number of things.
Right.
Even just if you get a phone call, you want to read who's calling you.
Sure.
You simply tap the side of the device, read, and you either say, I don't want to pick up that call, or I do. So I always ask their why, and they always get hands-on experience with the device before purchasing, and then follow-up training as well. It's really easy to utilize. As you saw, it's just a tap.
Yeah.
And then with the handheld device, it's as simple as a click of a button.
Okay.
So it's very easy to learn, but it does come with training when you purchase directly through OrCam.
Terrific. Yeah, like for myself, I mean, my readers, I go up every year, so I get, okay, I need a little stronger, Are there folks like that who just like the readers aren't there for them anymore, and that kind of situation, all the way to actual degenerative eye issues?
Yeah, that's a really great point that you bring up. So OrCam is expanding their low vision portfolio. Like I showed you, we have the wearable one, we have handheld ones, and then OrCam just came out with a Read 3 device.
There we go.
So the main visual difference that you'll see is yellow buttons when you just look at it right away. So when you turn the device on, I'll show how this can be chatty.
Oh, you charged it all the way. That's at 100%.
It's ready to go. So I have a newspaper in front of me, and with this device, all I do is click this button at the front, and a laser box is going to appear. So whatever I capture in that laser box is what it's going to read to me. So if I only want a small section of the newspaper or bill or whatever it might be read to me, and then I can press that button again to stop, because I'm not going to make us read the newspaper this morning. But so it not only acts as a handheld companion, but then when it's connected to you, go and sit at your computer or you have a tablet. Once you connect it to your tablet, it acts as a magnifier. So it can magnify all of the text that's in front of you, and then it can also be placed in this stand as well for a hands-free option. As we saw, my hands were shaky earlier. If I drink too much coffee and my hands are shaky, I can simply put this below and give it vocal commands.
Right.
I'm not going to do that, or else it'll keep chatting,
Right,
but
right.
it's a
But I
hands-free
imagine that's
option.
also very helpful just for people that are having challenge holding something steady, or like you said, to put it here so I clearly point at the spot I want to be at.
Exactly. It's a simple vocal command or a click, and it'll start reading the text that's below. So this one is an all-in-one low vision solution that is designed to follow people with their vision loss journey. So when it starts and you do need a magnifier, instead of having a magnifier, a text-to-speech device, and a million different devices, it's an all-in-one solution for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
How does insurance play into this? Are some of these things covered through insurance, or is it just kind of an outside the insurance industry area?
I always say right now, it's outside. I'm hoping that will change. It's not covered as a medical device quite yet. There are different grants and amazing just different organizations that can support with grants and financial support as well.
Okay.
And then there's also payment plans that can be done directly through OrCam, where you can pay monthly rather than paying in full right away.
'Cause I imagine this technology doesn't come cheap, right? But it opens up people's worlds. And so what's the value on that, being able to have that access again? Can, people have to take those measured decisions when, especially with fixed incomes, right?
Exactly, yes. So that's when I found, when I've worked with people that have fixed incomes, the payment plan has worked well for them. And that's been a question that we talk about. Is this something that's going to bring more independence to your life? And is it worth it? Are you going to grab at it every day when you're trying to read your bills and whatnot? That's why the demonstration and the training is so important.
I was going to ask about that a little bit. So you get the training. If people determine like, hey, maybe this isn't quite for me, or this isn't working the way I want it to, what's the kind of the buyer's remorse period in there?
Yeah, definitely. So there's a 30-day return policy.
Okay, great. So people can really try it out and get the real feel for it.
Yes. But usually, I think the device is really straightforward, so it's either a good fit or it's not. So once I do the demonstration, if you're comfortable with me being in your home, you see, okay, I actually will use this in my pantry. I can make sure I'm grabbing all of the right ingredients. I'm going to utilize it with my mail. I'm going to utilize it with reading my favorite article. So once you kind of figure out, like, yes, this is a good device for me, there's usually little to no buyer's remorse as long as you're getting that training. Because it can be, although the device is really easy to use, if you get any training device, or like new device, it can be overwhelming. Like, what button do I click?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, Cameron Hessling, thank you so much. This is really some cool tech. I'm super impressed with this. Thanks so much for joining us. Really appreciate it. And folks can get a hold of you guys through the website and phone number or the email that we put up on the screen. So that's fantastic. All right, when we come back, we're going to preview the Friday movie. Stay with us.
The Salvation Army Orange County is committed to building hope in people's lives rather than just more shelters. The Center of Hope, a comprehensive homeless care solution, combines a 325-bed emergency shelter, 72 permanent supportive housing apartments, on-site medical, dental, vision, and mental health care, and an award-winning drug and alcohol rehabilitation center. Donate today to transform lives, create safer neighborhoods, and provide an opportunity to end chronic homelessness in Orange County.
And welcome back. We want to talk about the Friday movie. It's North by Northeast. It's a Northwest. It's a classic. Cary Grant, Alfred Hitchcock directed this one. It's kind of a remake of the 39 Steps if you're a big Alfred Hitchcock fan, but it's a really kind of whodunit, wrong man accused, spies running around the country. It's a pretty exciting one. It's brought to us by Hogue, and it's going to be on 2 p.m. with subtitles and 6 p.m. without the subtitles. Let's take a quick look outside and recap the weather for us. It's going to be nice and cool. Fall is in the air, my favorite time of year. 70s and mid-70s, really. Morning clouds, afternoon sunshine, just what the doctor ordered. We hope you had a great program here today. We want to thank you for watching, and we hope you make this day a great one.
Hi there, I'm Bob Eubanks. Remember me? I'm the king of whoopee. And you're watching Village Television. But everybody does.